It's a myth that travel is expensive. The illusion of travel. But once you're actually budget traveling and practicing some of the tips and techniques that I will show you in this video, you'll see it's really not that much more expensive than if you were living at home. Here's how we live like locals and save money when we're there. Number one, apartment rentals. Besides a flight, hotels are gonna be the most expensive part of your trip. And there are times when it's worth it to stay in them. But if you're staying in a city, if you're staying somewhere reasonably safe, I would say go for an apartment rental. Places like Airbnb, which you can use our recommendation if you're new to it in the platform, you can use our link below. Airbnb, you can use 9flats, you can use VRBO. These are all places that are verified and you can easily rent an apartment. And the other thing is that if you do want that resort experience, you can still experience the resort but as a guest. So go for dinner, go for a spa service, or pay a day pass and you often get the same experience as if you were staying in the hotel. We particularly love this because you can experience more than one resort if you're in, say, the Caribbean. You can go to the Wyndham one day, you could go to the Ritz-Carlton another.
We did hack our way here through a day pass, highly recommend it.
We call this resort hacking, but we do it all the time. Some of the benefits of an apartment rental, besides the fact that you get more of a local experience, are a kitchen. You can do a little light grocery shopping, eat healthier, and eat some quick meals at home that'll save you money. So that's another tip, cook some meals. Also, sometimes the grocery stores abroad are very different, and I like that experience of seeing the foods that aren't on sale at my local grocery store, or if you're in the Caribbean, sometimes it's like going to the lady who sells the mangoes on the side of the road. That's cool. So I get a lot of interesting experiences when I try to cook locally. One of the first things we do after we drop our bags and maybe pick up a few staple groceries is go take a walking tour. We learned so much this way, especially I took one in New York after I've been living here for 5 years, and there was pieces of history that were fascinating that I was walking by every day and I had no idea. Also, when you take a walking tour, a lot of the guides will give you advice of where to eat, things that should be top of your list, or activities that you hadn't really thought of partaking in. One of the things I always ask is not where they recommend I eat, but where they eat. Because I sometimes want to go to a restaurant that's not as touristy or off the beaten path. So try asking your guide where they eat and hit it up at least for one of your meals. If you find a $500 flight to Scandinavia and a $500 flight to Southeast Asia, you will end up spending a lot more money when you're there because of the exchange rates and the cost of Scandinavia. I would opt for Southeast Asia. Places that you're going to save a lot of money in the world are Southeast Asia, Latin America, Eastern Europe, large parts of North Africa and the Middle East. When there's major changes in the strength of the dollar, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, places that typically had been one-to-one sometimes go down relative to the US dollar. So just know when that happens, be aware of it, but generally speaking, the cost of the flight shouldn't be the only consideration, it should be the exchange rates once you're in market. Eastern Europe though, some pretty amazing places like Prague, Budapest, awesome.